We are back. We are back. We missed you guys. We are back. Mwah.
Plot Malaysia!
Hello, welcome to the Plot Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans!
Woo! We are back. COVID has definitely haunted, one of us. Wow. Hurry, how are you feeling, man? How are you feeling? You fighter,
good,
you are a fighter.
I'm good. I'm back, fully recovered now, and really excited to bring the show back to you guys. Interact with fans out there of Premier League clubs, football clubs in Malaysia and across the globe. So, guys, we're really excited to be back. We want to keep the interactions going. We've got good plans for the rest of the season as well. And no better place to start than today. We're going into the international break, Ram.
Yep.
But what we're going to do as we go into the international break, we're going to talk about, we're going to just review the season so far and look ahead to the final stretch, the last 10 games of the season, 10 games of the season. Who's in it to win it? Who's going to be the champions? Who's going to qualify for the top four in the Champions League? Who's going to get relegated? And then, of course, guys, we will talk about that Champions League. And, of course, we've got a special guest today to talk about an exciting development in a pretty historic club as well. So we'll get there. We'll get there indeed. But first, Ram, should we introduce the guests and the panel for today?
Yes, hurry. Take it away, man. Who do we have in the lineup joining us today on the Plot Malaysia as we're back?
I'll introduce the Liverpool fan. You can introduce the other fan, but the Liverpool fan in the house. He's a regular on our show. He's got lots of insights into Liverpool Football Club. Diehard Liverpool fan. Always interesting listening to his opinion. Some may agree, some may disagree, but you know what? He's a passionate Liverpool fan, passionate Red, and none other than Giri.
Hey, Giri.
Hi, Harin. Hi, Ram.
Hi.
Welcome, Giri. It's been
Nice
a long
to see
time.
you well. Nice to see you well again, Hari.
Yes. I'm well and good and really excited to have you on the show again, Giri. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be really fun. We've got a lot of exciting Liverpool stuff to talk about, so we'll do that.
Fantastic.
Well, exciting Liverpool stuff may not be so exciting for me, so but it's okay. It's all good. It's all good in football. But I do want to introduce the next guest that we have on the show. We would like to welcome. He's a West Ham fan.
Also a regular.
Also a regular on the show, and we can't wait to have him back on. So let's welcome Keisha, the West Ham fan from Malaysia.
Thank you.
Hi, Keshav.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi.
Hi,
We can hear you.
we can finally hear you. Giri, there's still a bit of echo from your side, but we'll see if we can.
Yeah, I'll sit back.
Should be better now. Much better now. Keshav, how have you been, man?
I've been good, yeah. Watching a lot of Premier League matches and hopefully a good end to the season. And it's been good, yeah.
I don't think it's just the Premier League you've been watching, man. There's been you're in Europe, something that Man United can't say anymore, but you're still in Europe, and you're flying in Europe. So it's good. We're going to talk about that very, very soon as well, man. But really exciting times to be a West Ham supporter.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Moyes has done a good job.
Yeah, I think David Moyes has done a stunning job. So let's talk about that first, actually, Keshav. Since we have you on the show, tell us about that triumph, man. That triumph against Sevilla.
Yeah, actually, last season, when we came, I think there's a bit of an echo.
Yeah, Giri, I think there's still a bit of an echo from your side. Huh?
Let me adjust. Okay. As I was saying, last season we
Still a bit of an echo. Giri, maybe you can go on mute for a bit.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Okay. So as I was saying,
Perfect, cool, brilliant.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Last season, I think we actually started very well last season because 2019-20 season we avoided relegation and Moyes came in. I think it was that season, and we were struggling a lot. We were very inconsistent, and we just didn't play well. And we just crept through and stayed in the Premier League. And when it went to last season, we had to try something different. We had to go in a different direction. And Moyes, especially, he's very persistent in wanting hungry young players, very hardworking. He has got a very huge amount of work ethic he puts into his players. And that's the direction we wanted to go into. And we started off the season well without the fans. But, we didn't expect to finish in the Europa League, which I was a bit shocked. And coming to this season, we started very well, was very impressed and we kept the run going. And after that Liverpool game where we won, and after the international break, we didn't seem to be at our best. Our form wasn't good. We were very inconsistent. We were in that side where we scored a lot of goals.
I think that had a lot to do with the injuries as well. You had some injuries in defense. I know Kurt Zuma was out. I think Ogbono is still out as well. So I know that derailed you guys a little bit for a short spell until you got Zuma back, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's been tough after the Liverpool game, because it's not been easy as a Western fan. Obviously, when you support other clubs, you know how it's like to win. But of course, as a Western fan, it's inconsistency. That's how it is as a fan. You have to go through these type of situations where you won't play well, you are in a difficult position. Not playing, you're not winning consistently. And then Europa League came. I was very excited first time as a Western fan to experience Europa League. I had experienced Europa League like 2015-16, but not in the group stage. So really excited, was very happy to watch the matches. He played very well. Some difficult sides like Genk we had, and we had Rapid Vienna, all very good sides. It's not easy to play against this side, but we managed to get through. And then the real test was against Sevilla. Now, Sevilla, it's not an easy side. I know Liverpool played Sevilla, and I spoke to my brother. He said, not an easy side. They are very physical.
They are second in La Liga this season, and I think they're being managed by Julian Lopetegui as well, who was formerly a Spanish manager. So they're a quality side.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And we have to analyze them very carefully because their players are very physical. They don't score many. They're very defensive side, but also they are able to kick their chances. And I watched the first away game. It's nice to see the Western fans go to Sevilla. And I saw all the videos. Of very dedicated and very nice to see all of them there. And it was a very tough away place to go. And the Sevilla fans were shouting and encouraging their team to try and score. And I think that took a lot of pressure on the players because it's not easy to go into a round of 16. West Ham, not usually we go into it. And the pressure fell to us in the first leg where we are, I would say, very first time in this occasion, we're playing a very big side. I thought, okay, 1-0, we'll take it. We actually played well in the second half, but unfortunately, experience is what matters. So I thought, let's see how we do in the second leg where 60,000 or 59,000 Western fans were there. And I saw the game, I think, on Friday morning. Absolutely fantastic game. I really enjoyed the game. Not just for the fans, but you come into the stadium, 59,000 fans crowding over, like, I don't know how many Sevilla fans were there, but that moment as a West Ham fan to see us, we had to go and try our best to go through the quarterfinal. And we really pushed, and that was one of the best performances I've seen in Europa League. Not just the hard work, everybody working hard, the dedication. You don't have a big squad. You have a very small squad, and as a fan, I was so happy to see how we played because that is how we
something to build on for the future. Yeah, it's really good.
And I think it was Souček scored the header, very good header from him, and then we started to get momentum. Sevilla was starting to get nervous, and then we had to go and get pushed for the second goal, and we had to go to extra time. So I was so nervous while watching.
Can I just stop you there because this is the ideal moment for me to highlight something. I think the West Ham story has been brilliant this season, but over the last two matches, it's been amplified. There's been an emotional side to the game as well. And I think nothing describes it better than Andrei Yarmolenko. The man from Ukraine, star from Ukraine, absolute star. Everyone knows what's going on in the world right now. This man, he obviously couldn't play in a few games because of the turmoil that's been going on and his mental state, etc., with family, etc., being back there. And then when he plays finally, he scores the winning goal, wasn't it? One of the goals in the last game in the Premier League.
It's like a fairy tale. It's like a fairy tale
and then exactly. And then in this Europa League tie in extra time, scores the winner as well. I mean, it's such a touching story. And then you see Mark Noble in tears, a guy who's been with West Ham for 10, 15 years, 16 years, etc. But the fact that, especially with what's going on in Ukraine, Andrei Yarmolenko stepping up to the play, I think it's a brilliant story, man. Giri, you can unmute yourself here because I want your thoughts on this, man. Brilliant, isn't it?
I think the marriage between West Ham and David Moyes is something that's going to be very, very special. And I think his philosophy of football is something that he can impress onto West Ham players. And they'll probably, do whatever it takes. So if he has to park a very, very deep defense and expect them of playing out to a very tall striker and only expect about 3 or 4 chances to score a goal, they'll do it. So they don't have all this ego and stuff like that. They look like a bunch, who'll run through a wall for him. So it's perfect. And I think it's just wonderful what West Ham have done over the last 2 seasons. It's culminated in what it is now, but they've been getting there. And they're never an easy team to play. In fact, if you ask me, as a Liverpool fan, one of the places that I hate going to, is to play West Ham. Because Antonio will just bully the hell out of any defender that you have. And he is a difficult player. And if you play a very high line and he gets behind you, he has the pace. They may not have the sharpness and consistency, but they're a scary team to play. And in Souček, I think Souček is the best header of the ball. Yeah, the best header of the ball in the Premier League currently. You put that ball in a place where he can attack it, he's going to score. He's a wonderful player. And I think that mix that West Ham has is going to stand them in good stead. Whether they get into top 4, I don't know. There's a bit of a deficit that they need to make up, but not impossible.
I tell you what, Giri. If they win the Europa League, they're in the Champions League. You just never know with the way they're going and the spirit that Moyes is creating in that club.
I think, Harry, the story is definitely written so perfectly that United will not be in the Champions League for some reason.
Yeah, Giri, I think we'll leave you on mute again. There's an echo. I think the other thing I'll highlight is, what Moyes is doing at that club is really impressive. But as Giri said, Antonio is a threat. And I would say this from a Liverpool point of view, one of the teams that has given us a tough time, even at Anfield this season, was West Ham. We barely won 1-0, and they had their chances on the night, West Ham. So I know Antonio gave it a tough time. And then the players that play behind him, I think now as well, we've got a lot of flair behind him in Fornals, in Lanzini, in Bowen, inside Benrahma. There's a lot of flair players that operate behind Mikel Antonio as well. And Bowen, I think, is a standout player for the season. So,
they look like a team that really, really goes out every single game wanting to really win. And they know how to win it. Like what Giri said, they can just create a few chances and you put a ball where Souček can attack the ball and I think he'll score. So I think what they have right now is a good testament of how football should be played in terms of not looking at them as one of the mid-table teams. I think in the next few years, if they continue in this rate, they should be classified as one of the top 5, top 4 teams, if you like, in the Premier. I think
I agree. And as we move on to the next part of the show here, I'm not going to let you off very easily here, Keshav. I want a prediction. I'm going to ask you for another prediction later, but I want a prediction from you. Is West Ham going to win the Europa League? Let's start with West Ham Lyon. How do you see that tie going? And then I also want a prediction about
When actually that draw came, I thought, actually, to be honest, I didn't want Lyon. I wanted to get Barcelona. But
I love the confidence, my friend.
Try, but Lyon is a they scraped through against Porto. I saw the match. They played okay, but I think if we can beat Sevilla, we can beat Leon. So I'm having that belief saying, it's of course these are very big sides, big teams, like French league, and it's not easy. But when I was reading the news today, and Leon, I don't know, secretary of Leon said that he's very, if I'm not mistaken, afraid of West Ham because they don't like to play physical teams, and we are one of a physical team. And when we played Sevilla, they couldn't handle the way we played physically, like the way we handled the ball, putting headers in. They don't like all that. So we're hoping to give Leon a tough game, but I'm very excited. And if we do win both leagues, we already know who we'll be facing semi-final, and that could be Barcelona or Frankfurt. We don't know, but hopefully it could be Barcelona. Never know, but yeah, excited. Yeah.
I think I agree with you on that. I think Ram, I'm sure you'll have that, and Giri, I'm sure you have the same. But I think West Ham's strength is going to be that physicality. Declan Rice, Souček in the face, headers in the box, Michail Antonio spinning off and bullying defenders for Leon defenders who are probably not used to that. Yep.
Yeah, but Hari, don't you think, and also Giri as well, and Keshav, I think, don't you agree with me? West Ham has the perfect balance of a team, like defense right up to attack, like, height-wise, physicality-wise. I think they have all what it takes
Absolutely.
to actually win games.
And I think they are well coached, really well coached. They are fitter than they have been before, and the intensity and the physicality of the game doesn't go down even when they have a few players injured. And the good thing is the players that they have had injured are actually the more technically able players. So I don't know whether by having no choice, they have actually found a way of playing this game. I mean, I've never seen a team try so hard to get throw-ins and corners.
No.
I mean, that is their strength. I'm not saying that I think they are a more refined version of what Stoke City used to be. And I used to hate playing against Stoke City.
Yeah.
Lots of teams, I don't think Barcelona, the current Barcelona team, will have it easy against you. Maybe in the Nou Camp, because it's a huge bloody pitch. But even your pitch, is quite expensive, So I don't think Barcelona with a young team, and they are not physically very strong. I think you guys
they will not really relish the physical battle, especially with people like Pedri, Nabi, and all. They're all small size footballers.
The only danger I foresee is that if in the quarterfinals you guys gave too much of your physical self and picked up yellow cards, that you may have players unavailable for the semi-final. So a fine balance, you have to thread it properly to know when to use that physicality, because the incessant fouling, in Europe gets you booked, not like in football. Especially when you're playing a team like Barcelona. You've got UEFA referees have a funny way of deciding when to book you and when not to. So, but good luck, Arvind. I know I'll be rooting for you guys.
No, I think I'm the same. I'm rooting for West Ham for the Europa League.
Only because you're West Ham.
I think the prediction I would say is I don't know what to say, but I think I really hope that we go and win it, but I think we may. I think semi-finals are pretty low. I'll just put semi-finals here. We just may get knocked out, but never know. If we do face Barcelona, I'll take inspiration from Liverpool while Liverpool came back to beat Barcelona. Never know, but yeah.
Actually, Arvind, if you want to take a leaf out of our book, remember in 2016 we lost to Sevilla in the final of the Europa League, and everybody thought we'd have to go back and start from scratch. And you see what was built out of that. The exposure and the experience, if you follow through next year and the year after, eventually in 2-3 years you become a European force again. And as you guys were in the 70s, you were not just you guys are a footballing institution going back in history, and it's time to come back. That you guys, Wolves, all those teams, great teams. And tonight we play Forest. That's another great team with European.
Nottingham Forest, European royalty at one time.
That's such a wonderful thing. It's nice because otherwise the last 20 years has been about a few teams in England. It's nice to see Wolves, West Ham, back. I'm also happy when Leeds came back. Okay, okay, it was fantastic because now the averages are spread a little bit more thinly, which makes this season remarkable for Manchester City and Liverpool because the averages have spread out so much, and yet if you look at where they are miles apart from the rest. But we'll come to that in a while, sure.
No, we will talk about that right away, actually. So, quick prediction from you. You said semi-finals, right, Keshav?
Yeah, semi-finals, yeah. But in my heart, I just hope we could just something special, really. But
no, I think you guys win it, man. I think you guys win it. We're rooting for you. All the very best for
rooting West Ham. You guys can start blowing bubbles already, as the song says.
Yes, bubbles. And I think guys, it's the apt time for us now to move into the main topic of discussion for the day, and main topic of discussion for the rest of the week, the remaining 9 fixtures as well for the week, which is summed up beautifully by this, I think. Mind the gap, Mr. Pep Guardiola. Jurgen Klopp's coming. The Reds are on the up. The Reds are back in this title race. It's back on. Giri, a big Liverpool fan in the house along with me. Give us your insights, man. I mean, in January, I was of the opinion that Liverpool were out of the race. It was Man City and Liverpool should focus on the Champions League and the Cups. We obviously went on, won the Carling Cup. I also had that belief that we couldn't catch City because we had the AFCON and Salah, Mane and Keita were away. And we had a gap of 14 points, 12 or 14 points to make up. So I thought it was over. But what's happened in the last 2 months has been phenomenal. We won a cup already, a domestic cup. We won all the games in January during the AFCON. And now it's a 1 point gap with a superior goal difference over City with a game to come at the Etihad. It's exciting. It's brilliant. Give me your thoughts, my friend.
I think City peaked early. And because they peaked early, I don't know whether psychologically, they already said, we just have to go through the paces and we'll get there. And they didn't really expect us to be hanging so tightly onto their coattails. And we've got 9 games since we drew with Chelsea at the beginning of the year, 9 games on the trot. And with the remaining 9 games, the way I look at it, I think it's all about pressure and who can handle pressure better. I've looked at the list of games. I don't think who you're playing against is going to make a difference when it comes to City and Liverpool because we play the same regardless of who we play.
I think on paper we've got the tougher run in, but yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
We beat Manchester United 5-0 at Old Trafford.
Oh, man. Don't remind me.
We have to, sorry, Ram, but we have to play them at home. Okay?
Yeah.
And all it's going to take is 9 games of 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0.
9 finals, basically.
That's right. That's all it's going to take. But then you throw in the European shenanigans as well. Yep. That's where it gets a little bit complicated. Because it all depends on how we are. I think the game against City is right in between the 2 legs, correct?
Absolutely. So let me just give you a bit of insight, so for the viewers as well. So Atletico Madrid, City's first game against Atletico Madrid is at home against Atletico Madrid, and then they play Liverpool, and then their second leg is away at Madrid. Liverpool, on the other hand, are away at Benfica first, then they play City away, and then they play Benfica at home. So yeah, that's how it's worked out fixture-wise.
Yeah, and I think we have an edge because Klopp is quite prepared to rotate in a way which is quite unforeseeable. I mean, he's prepared to change 6 players. He's done it. Yeah. The last game that City played when they drew with Crystal Palace, I was amazed that Pep didn't make a single change in his lineup at the beginning, and he didn't change any of the players during the game.
He didn't bring Sterling on. He didn't bring Gabriel Jesus on. No one when he needed a goal. Yep.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe what he feels is that he needs to have a starting 11, okay, with momentum and understanding, and he doesn't want to break that cycle. Maybe.
Mhm.
And then I was speaking to a friend the other day, and he brought up an interesting point. He said, the difference between City and Liverpool is that City can score 7, 8 goals against
Yep.
any team a given day. But
Yep.
Liverpool can score 4 when they really need to.
Yeah.
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 And therefore, that's the difference in I think. But who handles pressure better, Harry and Ram? This is going to be I think there are one or two more twists and turns to this entire
Season.
title run in. And I think who handles pressure most, who can handle disappointment better, is going to win the Premier League. Okay?
I know I'm going to be checking my blood pressure for the next 9 weeks on a non-stop basis, because I know if I can handle the pressure, it's going to be brilliant, it's going to be breathtaking, it's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, I think being a Liverpool fan should come with a disclaimer and warranty saying you should consult a cardiologist at the beginning of the season, during the season, and after the season.
Yep.
And I think you can expect a roller coaster of a ride, because this ain't over. I mean, even though City looks like they have an easy run in, you just never know, because unless you're playing a team who has nothing to play for.
Can I actually mention something as well? City seem to do well against the better teams. Their defeats and draws this season have been against Southampton, Crystal Palace. These are the sides they're dropping points against. So for me, I look at the fixtures, for example, I saw Wolves away in there. For me, Wolves away is an extremely tough game for City, because they barely beat Wolves at home. It took a fortune penalty for them to beat Wolves at home. They also have to play, I think they have to play Leeds away under Jesse Marsh now as well, different proposition. They've got to play West Ham away, which is not an easy game as well. So, and of course, the game of all games, Giri, the final game of the season, Man City plays at home against Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa.
Yeah.
It could be written in the stars. It could be written in the stars that Gerrard wins his boyhood club the title by turning them over the final game. You just don't know.
Hurry. I guess
I'll leave these narratives to the media people to spin. But I think Steven Gerrard will take care of his own team first. And I don't think doing things is a matter of favor. I mean, the run that he's on right now, he will probably need a win on the last day of the season, not to do us a favor, but to do Aston Villa a favor. Because they keep losing like this. They may be in a relegation battle, come the last 2 weeks of the campaign. So we don't know where we are then.
I mean, Gerrard actually. I mean, talking about not doing us a favor. Actually, he won't. And the point is, we have to play Villa as well in this fixtures away. So you just don't know how this is going to pan out. I'm going to throw another point out there, Giri, because these are my thoughts. I think this title race came alive, and it was sparked alive. Keshav, I want your thoughts on this as well. It was sparked alive by the signing of Luis Diaz. I mean, he's just one player, but I feel his introduction, his energy brought into the team, the fact that now we have 5 attackers to rotate between, I thought it sparked Liverpool into life, that signing. And it's given us a new belief going into the final games. I mean, to be honest, he was man of the match for me against Chelsea in the Carling Cup final as well. So I just want your thoughts on that, Giri.
I think for the first time in the history of the Premier League, we actually have squad depth. This is the first time. And what I saw last week was very interesting. To see in 57th minute, your manager preparing to bring on Roberto Firmino and Mo Salah, we were excited. But then I sat back and asked myself, what if I was the other team? Can you just imagine you walk out in Anfield, and you're ready to play the game against Liverpool, and you see Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino on the bench, knowing that Liverpool is a team of intensity and you're probably going to have to survive 90 minutes plus 5. I think it's a scary proposition.
I agree.
I think it's and I think this is the way forward for Liverpool. in that we put the fitter, younger players to play the first 50 minutes or so and to run the other side ragged. And then you bring in, people like Firmino and Salah who have the nuance and the technical ability to score the goals. So I don't know, maybe this is the future, but I thought what I saw the other day was very interesting. And to be able to keep Salah and Firmino on the bench for 60 minutes will serve us well once we get to a title run in and we have midweek European commitments as well.
No, I agree.
So
to be honest, we were. I mean, just to give you an idea of the squad depth against Arsenal, we had obviously Salah, Firmino come off the bench. I mean, there was Ox on the bench, there was Naby Keita on the bench, but people who missed out on the squad altogether, Divock Origi, James Milner, Tsimikas were both ill. They were not in the squad. And of course, Harvey Elliott didn't make the squad as well. So it just speaks volumes about the squad depth, actually.
Correct.
And I think another one I'm going to throw out there. I think it's crucial for us to keep rotating between Thiago Alcantara and Naby Keita, because we need them fit as well. I think we need Thiago fit going into the final 9 games. He's that crucial to us.
Correct. I think the balance is there, with the exception. We probably have to move on 1 or 2 players, out of fairness to them in the summer. But right now, the balance is there because we are still competing in all the competitions. So everybody is going to get game time. Like tonight, I can expect to see, with the exception of Van Dijk and Alisson, I think everybody else gets rotated. And I wouldn't even be too surprised, if Klopp throws in Bobby to give him some game time because he's coming back from an injury, And I think it's time to rotate the midfield as well.
I agree.
I mean, Trent is out. I don't know whether he's really injured or he's just out for some time. This is a good time to start using the squad. So Joe Gomez will probably have to play the next 2 games.
Yep.
And his future will be determined by his willingness to be part of this team and to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, whether at right back or centre back. Yep.
Correct. Milner will have to come in today. So I think it's just about right. And I think the League Cup tonight is the least of our priorities. If you ask me at the beginning,
the FA Cup.
Sorry, the FA Cup is the least of our priorities. If you asked at the beginning of the season, I'd have said, given I didn't know our squad depth was that good. I think our squad depth improved, coming back to what you were saying, Ram, when we brought in Luis Diaz. Because suddenly there is variety.
Yep.
I still think the balance is not there when Diaz, Mane, and Salah plays together, because Mane is not really an out-and-out kind of. He's not a Bobby Firmino.
No, he's not.
So the balance is slightly lost because of Diaz. In a way, it's not.
I think. I mean, there's no one like Bobby. I'm 100% agree with you on that.
Correct.
When Mane plays, I think the ball doesn't stick as much
Correct.
as it does with Bobby.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. And Mane's first touch this season, has been
it's been awful actually.
But he's dependable in the sense that he's going to give you 100%, even though he misses this and a bit wayward. But he gives you 100% of physicality.
And he gets you goals. He gets you important goals. Yeah.
Correct. And Mane is all. I mean, if you look at his intelligence the other day, it was his off-the-ball running, that created that wonderful pathway for Thiago to slot Jota through.
Jota,
against Arsenal. Mane took the defender, and suddenly, there was a huge highway, for him to make that pass. And I think that's what Mane does very well.
Yeah.
And I think what is going to be needed is a lot of interchanging between the top 3. So you wouldn't be too surprised to suddenly find, Salah on the left wing and Mane on the right wing and Diaz going through the center, because that's how we scored against Brighton. And
Sorry, go ahead, Giri.
And that kind of interchangeability, creates a kind of unpredictability. Very hard to mark people who are constantly in motion. And this is what defenses don't like to play against us, because we are not static. We don't have an out-and-out center forward, which is the focal point of an attack, which makes it very static. And when you have something like Firmino is a master in falling back. I wouldn't even call him a false 9. I think we have to just call what he does the Firmino position. That's like you called it the Makalele position in the old days.
It's a familiar position, yeah.
And Firmino, when he drops out, he takes the centre back into midfield, which means there are gaps at the back. And to compensate, the other centre back tends to fall back, and their offside line drops that much lower.
Yep.
We have scored so many goals just because of that, and nobody really. I think Peter Crouch put it really nicely this last week.
I love that quote. Yes.
If
you watch the game,
you don't see Bobby Firmino. But if you watch Bobby Firmino, you see the whole game.
Yeah.
You see, he's that kind of a player, and I think he's got at least another two years with us, where he comes in.
I would keep him as a squad option for the next.
Correct. He's a selfless kind of guy, okay, who is not going to ask for 500,000 a week, okay, and insists on playing every game. He's quite happy coming on, okay, the last 20 minutes and changing things. Yeah. So I think that's the wonderful thing about having him. Apart from that, I just hope nobody in the front five or front four gets a serious injury. I think we should manage them properly, and I trust Klopp and Pep to do that wonderfully for the remaining. I don't know, we've got 9 games in the league, 5 in Europe, and 3 in the FA Cup. So that's 17 games we got to play. Yep. Fantastic. Starting tonight.
I mean, just on that point, and as we wrap up the title race discussion as well, I'm going to get a prediction from everyone. I'm going to get Keshav's prediction. I want to get Ram's prediction on this as well. But one final one, just a quick one from your side, Giri. How concerned are you about this Trent Alexander-Arnold's hamstring injury? Because I think it's the one position where we don't really have cover. No one plays like Trent. He's the playmaker in our team.
Correct. If you ask me 2 years ago, I'll say I'm very concerned. Yeah. But we are where we are today without Salah and Mane because of the AFCON. We've had injuries, okay, over the last year and a half, and we've always managed. Somebody will get in there and play that role. We may not be as fluent as we are. We may not have those wonderful diagonal balls, okay, that Trent does very well. But we will alter our game. We've got so many options these days. There are many ways. Liverpool is no longer the one-track team that it used to be. Okay, there are so many facets. Okay, if on one side we are a bit more defensive, then that means Robertson is going to be a left winger, and somebody covers behind him. Yep. Because you have literally 3 centre backs playing at the back, although one is more to the right. So that's going to be our defense. Nobody comes down the right side or the left side of our defense, which means to say that Robertson is going to have to work 2 times harder.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like it when he does it, because if you take away the defensive responsibilities from Robertson, okay, their right back and their right-sided midfielder are going to be dragged out of position almost 80% of the game, which is fantastic. It doesn't matter who we play. Everybody's going to have the same problem. So in a way, it's quite good.
No, and actually, let me just throw this in. I mean, great point by Simba here. That quarterfinal match, I think, is going to be key. That time when City have Atletico, both sides, the master of the dark arts, it's going to be really difficult, and we're going to see how they're going to manage that, because I think Diego Simeone is going to give him a tough time, and they're going to batter and bruise some of those City players as well. So you just don't know how that's going to end up. I'm just going to say this as well, Giri. I think you're spot on. Liverpool now is a side that can win in many different ways. They can win beautifully 4 or 5-0. They can win 1-0. And I think that's what differentiates us from City. City is an unbelievable side, but they have one way of winning games, the beautiful way. Liverpool has a number of ways to beat you. And I think, hopefully, from my perspective, hopefully that's what gets us across the line.
Harry, please be prepared, okay, to watch games whereby the first 45, our players, don't appear to be doing very much. Actually, they're just studying the opponent. And we go in for the break, we come out. In the 50th, 55th minute, we'll nick a goal. And then we'll just game manage it, by passing at the back for the remaining 30 minutes. We are quite prepared to do it. Yep. City are not.
We did it against Arsenal. We did it against Arsenal, to be honest. Yeah.
Correct. No, we did it against Manchester United after we scored the 5th goal.
Yeah.
We went to Old Trafford and had a training session. If you remember.
I knew that was coming. I knew that blow was coming, man.
No offense intended. The willingness to do that, to conserve energy, to conserve your legs for a midweek game in Europe is very important. If you go gung ho, you risk injuries just because, and we've got a healthy goal difference. Okay, I mean, City can make up this goal difference in one game, not a problem. But we will continuously score 1-2 goals, 1-2 goals, 1-2 goals, and close the match out, which is what we've been doing over the last month or so. We've been doing it very well. So I think if that means the case, meaning people start singing boring Liverpool, carry on.
No, I agree. I mean, we've just got Ankit who's joined us as well.
Hey, Ankit.
Really sorry. I know that I'm kind of 40 minutes late. But I hope.
Giri, we might need you on mute again. Okay, no problem. A bit of a technical issue on Giri's side with the echo, but yeah, Ankit, thanks for joining us, man. No issues with coming on late. We needed your insights. You've come on at the right time, man. How have you been?
I've been great, and it's been a long time. I know, long time coming, but certainly a lot going on, and lots to discuss for sure. It's an interesting time of the year, obviously in the Premier League. That every year we know that this is probably the time that we all look forward to. But I think along with the Chelsea situation, it's kind of as in for the neutral, there's a lot of stories there. For us, as in back against the wall, that's something that I'm certainly as in hoping that things sort out. But I think good luck to Liverpool, and I know Man United. Unfortunately, Ram, things haven't worked out.
Oh no.
No. Actually, we had a discussion with obviously Keshav as well, who's a West Ham fan. Had a discussion with how West Ham have pulled through against Sevilla, big match, and the fact that Yarmolenko, what a story that is. Yarmolenko, the Ukrainian, stood out and got the winner. What a story that is. So West Ham, how are they going to progress in the Europa League? Can they win it? We had that discussion. We were just wrapping up our title race discussion as well. So I'm just going to get a prediction from everyone on this, and I want you to chime in as well, Ankit. So we'll start with you, Giri. You can unmute yourself for a sec. Will Liverpool do it?
Yes. I think we'll win the league, and I don't think us winning the league will be dependent on the result at the Etihad. I think City have peaked too early, and they're going to rush things, and I don't think they're going to be able to hang on to the 1 point for very long. We'll drop points too, but they'll drop more points than us. That's it.
No, brilliant, man.
Brilliant. I think that weekend where we play City at home will become a game where you don't need to win. Just don't lose.
And I hope that is the case, man. Genuinely hope that is the case. Keshav, give us a prediction, man. Who's winning this title?
I would 100% say Liverpool. No Man City is case, but I think Liverpool are too strong. Man City, and I agree with the things they said that Man City play very beautiful way, but Liverpool have different ways to play, which I completely agree, because that's how Liverpool play. They're very flexible, and when the Man City Liverpool game comes, it's going to be difficult. Going to be a lot of nerves, but I think Liverpool are going to edge this. It could be on the final day. It could be before that game, the last game. Never know, but I think Liverpool will get through. I hope this is the period where Liverpool can get some consistency in getting the Premier League, because I think they've always wanted that, and also Man City have been. You see, there's a very big difference when you see Man City, Liverpool. Man City've got world-class players. They've got the money. Liverpool don't have, and not to say they don't have the money, but they have the money, but they're very selective in how they buy.
I think they're doing it the right way, isn't it? They're going about things the right way.
Just to correct you, we don't have a sugar daddy. We are not funded by an oil nation, okay, where accountability is zero. We have a board of directors and shareholders to which FSG are accountable to. That is the difference. That's it. Yeah, and as a West Ham fan, I think you will do well to understand the difference. Because if the day you don't understand the difference, then a club like Liverpool, West Ham, which is owned by a corporation with a board, and start spending lavishly or borrowing heavily, okay, you are asking for the end. West Ham almost went down that road some time ago. We almost went down that road some time ago. So to be fair, we can't compare the two. I mean, if today Chelsea is having problems, one day global politics will change and the Middle East may be the center of a lot of things, and then Man City will have that problem. One thing I do know is that American ownership will never have that problem because they are the ones that create all the problems.
Oh, spot on. Ankit, what about you, man? Give us a prediction
Wow.
for this
Brilliant
title.
insights,
Where
by
is
the
this
way.
title going?
You know what? In a strange way, I think it might just depend on the Champions League, as in race as well. Like, it depends on how those things are going because I think it's sandwiched in between the games. We know that the games for Liverpool on paper are fairly easy in the Champions League, but again, the Premier League race, you can argue that Liverpool has a slightly tougher, kind of run in. So it's really evenly balanced, if you see both. But I think Man City. This year, I have actually predicted Man City to go deep in the Champions League as much as they are in the same bracket as Chelsea. I actually see them going further, and it's just one step ahead for them. So, and I strangely feel that that's a good thing because they'll get that momentum. So I have to say that unfortunately, Hari, I'm kind of going for Man City as much as I won't like them to win yet another title in the Premier League. It's been kind of monotonous. But I feel that they've probably got that in the bag. Like I know Liverpool have come back brilliantly, but it's just that the run-in and the Champions League draw to some extent, is telling me that it's going to be Man City, and of course, as another factors also come into play. Like I know Liverpool got Luis Diaz. It's really built the momentum even more. But I think Man City, they're not depending on a single player or two players. Like Liverpool, as much as they've got a squad. I think one or two injuries, and I think you'll again have problems. If you see the recent games, I think both the clubs have just about kind of got those tough results going their way as well. So again, it's really really difficult to call, but I just feel that Man City with Pep, having been there, done that, it'll probably be I think one of that season where you just finished a point behind, right? It'll be one of those seasons. Trust me.
Let's see, man. I hope you're wrong, but I value your prediction, my friend.
I do
Ram,
hope as well, but yeah.
Ram, what about you? I think I know your answer, Ram, but I'm still going to ask you, man.
Well, I wish I could say none of them because I'm like as much as United fan we hate Man City, we hate Liverpool, I mean as much. But I think in all fairness, I have to think that a team that has been very consistent lately. I think Liverpool has been very strong. Watching them play, it's been quite. They've been quite exciting, to be honest. It pains me to say this. I know a lot of United fans will not agree with me, but I'm going to say that I think it's going to be Liverpool this year.
I hope, man. Momentum is a big thing, and I hope that word comes is what carries us across the line, man. Momentum is with the Reds.
For that Ram, I'll spare you and Manchester United for 1 month.
Okay.
I'm now, guys, going to shift on to the topic of. Obviously, we've got Ankit on the show, Chelsea fan, and there's a specific reason for that. We want to quickly talk about this. Chelsea for sale.
You mean, Abramovich is for sale.
I don't know. I think he might be for sale as well. What's happening? I mean, Ankit, do you have any? I mean, I know you have got some contacts on the ground in London as well. You're in touch with some individuals there. So do you have an update for us? Because I know there was a deadline on Friday for bids to go in. I believe some of those bidders have had to pitch to the supporters club, etc. as well. Do you have any updates for us? What's happening in this situation, and how tough has it been for Chelsea fans, for the club, and for the players in the country? What have they had to do? Do you have any insights on this?
See, again, like I can speak for myself here. Firstly, I've kind of been following Chelsea. I mean, week in, week out, kind of football for the last 22 years, and I've kind of seen, initial few years were I was under Ken Bates, when there was basically a lot of as in passion. We were really a cup team, really. Let's be honest, we weren't there, and then but when it comes to the ownership, things like that, I think he was probably bad PR for the club at that point as well. He wasn't great at all at that, and we were not kind of going to the next level despite the players that we had already started getting. And what Roman Abramovich got us is basically that ruthlessness. And I'm not going to go political saying that, okay, we always knew that where the money is coming from, what kind of contacts he had. Because let's be honest, like as much as me and you can speak about it, I don't think I'm even qualified enough to actually comment there, because those are something that I think they're still pending. So I'll leave it to that. And for me, what is important, right? He is basically, at least the last 19 years, he's been the father of Chelsea Football Club. He's been someone who, firstly, when he got Jose Mourinho, I don't think many clubs out there would have kind of got had that kind of just the guts that get in a manager who's never managed the Premier League, especially when you want to be right to the top, and getting him, and then doing very well with them, giving him all the money. Like, even when I think Jose Mourinho came first, there was a time when I think there was pressure from Abramovich to kind of go with certain big names that I know in between he always used to as in try and give it to the manager, but I think he went with the manager first up. And I think Jose Mourinho famous statement is Didier Drogba. Abramovich was like, who's he? And he's like, just give me the money, boss. As in, you want to win, you'll see that, right? And that's what he did. So that is the kind of manager, sorry, the owner he was, that he kind of believed in what the manager thought. But at the same time, when things needed to change, again, we may not agree with how he ran the club in terms of sacking managers, but that is what he brought to the club. Because the only problem was with Chelsea was we weren't that kind of as in getting to the next level, wanting to win every time. So he instilled that. I thought first it was Jose Mourinho, but it was actually a combination of him and Abramovich, and he continued that as in for years together. And he was an owner who was always there at the club. Like, he was there, if you see matches, he was always there, passionately supporting the club. How many owners are out there? I know that we can probably compare with a few clubs, in the Far East, but honestly, he genuinely was a fan, and that was the most important thing. And that is what after all these years, recent years, he's not been allowed in England even. But even then, it's been someone from his family, I believe, who was there. Marina, who was his right hand lady, as in she was brought into things, and she actually did a lot. He gave so much confidence. And in getting Frank Lampard, someone with absolutely like almost nil experience at that time when we were in the transfer ban, then giving Petr Cech, the reins as well recently, without any experience in that kind of as in phase. So for me, the passion that was there as an owner will never be there again, because we are missing lots in the last 20 years. And now someone is gone, someone's got to come in. And I think, like the folks in the panel said, it's about basically, as in if an American owner comes in, like, that, okay, they probably look at it as business first.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to kind of sound like, okay, I'm going to scapegoat or a particular side of the geography, but certainly we have seen that's what happened in the recent past. And with, say, Saudi owners, it's about money. Saudi Qatari owners, it's about money and investment. So yes, they'll I think there's a hole which cannot be kind of filled very soon. But at the end of the day, if they're giving the money, and if they're not poking the nose enough, and if they are giving like empowerment to the next layer, which I believe and hope that should remain, as much as I don't think Marina will remain in the long term, but I'm just praying that she does, because she's changed lots, the negotiator that she is. I think we'll be okay. We have developed the DNA. After a while, I know people say we ain't got no history, and definitely, as in, you can come to my channel and see what we cover on history. But the fact being that he has added that thing, that hey, Chelsea has created history in the last 19 years, plus whatever they had. So I think we are not going to lose that anytime soon. But if we don't get an owner, which was actually speculated for like about 48 hours after his sanctioning,
I think you're going to administration, isn't it?
exactly, and because we cannot survive for more than 2 months, going by the maths. I know Mason Mount, Reece James, etc. have told that they're probably ready to be playing without salary. They have actually said that. I know it was just to think about saying, giving commitment. Havertz, Tuchel has said that okay, they can pay, they can take the 7-seaters, etc. But those are things that we at Chelsea Football Club, and I believe that the team is there very much so, and I'm happy to hear such statements. I know it's not going to happen technically, but that is what shows the commitment that the team is there, and that's when we do well against the wall. So I'm hoping that it's just the next 2 months should phase out easily. But I think it's about 27 bidders, if I'm not wrong, in the last week.
So good. Sorry to interrupt that. Okay, but any updates on the bids that have come in? Who's favorite as of now, and any insights on that front?
Exactly. So they're also like I've been speaking to a lot of people who are connected to journalists, etc. And like you said, like people actually go to the matches in Stamford Bridge, right? So from what I understand, like tier one journalists, they have their own as an affinity. So they have like say I know the Matt Law, as in he kind of prefers or rather has an affinity towards the American ownership. I think there's a consortium with I think Wiss, who's a Swiss, I think if I'm not wrong, billionaire, along with Todd Bowley. There are reports like Todd Bowley obviously has a background when it comes to sports, but at the same time, rumors that he's a Spurs fan. That's like, oh, come on, that's not going to happen. But anyway,
That's like a no.
that's like rubbing salt in the wound.
and
My
even this,
God.
and even this. So again, these might be stories that I don't know how much we should believe in, but I think West, who's pretty old right now, but I think after all these years, he's coming back again with the bid because he kind of had some kind of as an enmity with Roman Abramovich. So that might be something that he's coming back to just kind of buy from him, showing his kind of dominance. I don't know. Lot of stories, but I think Saudis. I know as much as what is happening in Saudis. Not as in not going to condone that, but for sure, the group of people from Saudi, I think they are not related to the government directly. So this is Al Khariji. I know everyone more or less is related there, but I think they have been able to prove. So and they have like 1.3 trillion dollar kind of valuation. So I think they are probably looking at the outside as ones that okay, they are Chelsea fans as well. Plus, if they are going with it, I think probably financially it's going to help us. But I think Nick Candy is the most interesting one.
Sorry,
He's an
did you have something
Englishman.
to say? Giri?
Sorry. No.
Giri?
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I was coming to Nick Candy because this is the third, I think, third favorite right now. He's a Londoner. He's been a Chelsea fan. Has actually gone on record saying that he's ready to invest even if he's not an owner, and he doesn't expect returns very soon. So I think, but yeah, does he have the money? That's the big question. What is the kind of consortium he's kind of put together? Are they also Chelsea fans? Lot of questions out there, trust me. And I think these three are the favorites right now. I think there was a Turkish group as well who probably
Yep.
uh, knew Roman, but I believe they had some problem with the lawyers and they couldn't get in their bid in time.
Okay.
Musim Barak.
So a quick one, Giri. I think we need you on mute again.
Yeah.
The echo. But yeah, so I mean that's so. Nick, I was going to ask you about Nick Candy actually. Is he a preferred for you personally, or is it the Saudi group?
See, for me, I mean, again, it's a very difficult question, Harry, because I think it's about you need the money, we definitely need, or you need just the passion for the club, right? Ideally,
Yep.
both.
Yep.
Now, if so, that's what. So, if Nick Candy is able to get as in the team of people together, again, I don't prefer consortiums. Firstly, so that is a little bit of a red flag because he's not able to do it by himself. But if he's just able to get like maybe two people on the board, right, and not like 10 other people who are kind of equal partners, then I'm still okay with it, like a 3 or 4 member kind of group, to come together and kind of put in a bid. That is perfectly fine because we have Nick Candy there, who's really as a proper Chelsea fan, a season ticket holder, and also 10% stake. By the way, there are reports saying that John Terry, etc., are also planning to buy. John Terry with Rafferty, who's one of the Chelsea women legends as well. So they are kind of coming together and planning to buy 10%, and they're going to bid for that. There are again reports saying that okay, they might be allowed or not allowed legally, but let's see. As in, hopefully that is because that will be great. Imagine John Terry being a part of the board and actually having a say to some extent, and Viali, I think Gianluca
Gianluca
Viali, the
Vialli as
legend.
well. Yep.
What
He
legend.
is a consultant for Nick Candy. I don't know. I was actually surprised because I don't know if he has any real estate kind of background, Viali in recent years, but I think absolutely fantastic. Imagine John Terry, Viali and Nick Candy kind of getting together along with a couple of other people who may or may not be related to Chelsea Football Club. So that sounds the best prospect, but that sounds too good to be true. At the same time. So
Which is
exactly.
it's I mean, as a neutral, it's an interesting situation watching it from afar. I know how it must be as a Chelsea fan. We went through this as well when we had obviously we were very close to going into administration, if you remember, under Hicks and Gillette. We were literally days away. So I know how nerve-wracking it was. So I can imagine that. But just looking from the outside, it's quite an interesting watch to see who actually takes full control of Chelsea and which direction it heads in. So we're going to keep a watch on that, Ankit, man. But thanks a lot for the.
One thing is for sure. I think it's not going to be that era where Ken Bates bought the club for £1 and things will be fixed. That's not going to happen again. It is basically modern times, and I think that's the concern right now. So I think as long as the Saudis get it politically right and they can prove that they're not connected to PIF, I have a strange feeling that they might be the ones, as much as the US consortium might be more professional outlook. But like our friend in the panel said, like they're probably creating the problems. So I don't know. I might be sounding biased, but I feel that having lived in North America, I can actually sense the kind of as in the understanding of football is like soccer there. Trust me, it's going to change, but it'll take time. So I don't actually see that happening. I hope it doesn't happen. But again, it's not like I won't welcome them or something like that. I'm okay with anyone. At the end of the day, if you are able to be run as a football club, giving the empowerment to the next layer, and that layer doesn't change much.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then, to be honest, not just that. I mean, it's which direction the club is going to head in post this as well. I mean, will they lose players? There are players out of contract. How long is this situation going to carry on for?
Oh, wow.
I mean, there are rumors that Rudiger is moving to Juventus, and he's huge. He's a phenomenal player for Chelsea. He's been.
I think a lot of players from Chelsea will definitely move.
No, I agree. Sure. I think there's also a threat of Thomas Tuchel, isn't it? Man United may go in for him as well.
No, but I think he's cleared it already. Thomas Tuchel has I don't think. As in, again, I thought I would never say this after when we got Mourinho and then Conte. I never thought that there will be a manager who will be so passionate about the club. This guy is next level. Trust me. This guy he actually believes Chelsea is his home, and he's actually gone on record not once, I think already 3 to 4 times, that he's going to remain here no matter what, as long as we have shirts for the matches. I am good to go. So I think most of the players and as in managers have come out and said something like this. I know it's easier to say than when it actually happens, but I think it clearly shows at least we won't as in panic. Yeah, but Rudiger things are different because I think the contract is not there. Aspi,
Christensen as well.
I'm happy that he's going, because I don't want a player. He might change his mind. That's a different thing if we are able to legally, but. Come on, we literally built him. This guy was, as a mistake prone week in, week out, and we literally built him. Thiago Silva helped him so much in the last 18 months and whatnot. And finally, when he's ready, this guy okay, tata, bye bye. Come on, boy. As in, we bought him as a 16-year-old. We expect a little bit better. And sometimes, as in Chelsea Football Club is blamed that we don't kind of, as in continue our academy players. But modern day is such that I think the youngsters these days just want more money, man. As in, simply put, I don't think he's even starting in Barcelona. I genuinely feel that, at least next year. So I don't know why he's going. He's not good at the fourth back system anyway.
No, fair enough. I mean, thanks a lot for those insights, man. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be very interesting watching from afar. We're not going to let you go yet, Ankit. We're going to wrap up the show, but I'm going to get predictions from you guys very quickly. We will talk about the top 4 race in our next show, which is going to be next week during the international break, 100%. But I think there's no better way to wrap things up than this. There was a very important draw made a couple of days ago, for the Champions League quarterfinals. Chelsea are involved, Man City is involved, Liverpool is involved representing England, and then you've got the Spanish clubs, Villarreal, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, obviously under Simeone, and then you've got Bayern Munich, the great Bayern Munich, under Julian Nagelsmann, and Benfica, who made it through against Ajax Amsterdam. Actually, it was a smash and grab, literally, against Ajax. But they've been led by Uruguay's next big thing, isn't it? Darwin Núñez. So, guys, quick prediction from you guys for all matches. Let's start off with Chelsea, Real Madrid, Ankit. Give me a prediction, quick prediction on this game, man, home and away.
Yeah, so this is again, there is a question mark about whether we'll be allowed fans, because I think we are not yet able to sell tickets. The second leg being in the Bernabeu doesn't favor us at all. Thomas Tuchel also has already, I mentioned that as well. But we didn't meet them last year. I know last year things were different. Ancelotti wasn't there. Even the team has kind of grown, but so is our team. We have definitely grown. I think cup competitions, as in we know, as in Hari, as in we played in the Carabao Cup final, and it was Carabao Cup final, but the quality was there. We have it. It's just that the last bit, I think, apart from Benzema, Vinicius, if we're able to kind of restrict them, which our defense should be able to compare to other defenses in the world, I think we can get there. It'll be really close, but it'll be just that one odd goal. I'm going with basically Chelsea to win. I'm not going to go with Chelsea to lose this one, but I think Real Madrid will come really close, and it maybe comes down to the fact that finally we'll be allowed fans or not, because I'm hoping that we are. In the first leg, we need that lead. So yeah, we'll take that lead, and we'll go and meet. I think Man City is what my prediction is on the other side, unless we want to talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So yeah, I mean, yeah, good point. I mean, I feel the same way. Ram, I mean, let's go to Keshav. Keshav, what do you think? Chelsea, Real Madrid, pick a winner.
I think I'm actually going to say Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid are very. It's a very difficult side because they're when you see Spanish side, they're very physical. They don't like to mess around. I just feel because of the way they played against PSG and how they're going to play against Chelsea, I think Chelsea are going to be in it for a very tough game. It's not going to be easy, but I think Real Madrid can get through it. Chelsea, I know they're a good team, but I just feel Real Madrid right now they've got the what do they say? They've got like Benzema is not a player who can score many goals, but he's got that mind. What do you call it? The ability to see goals through, if I can say that. But yeah, I do think
He's got an eye for goal. He's got an
eye for goal. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just that, I'm going to throw another player in. Vinicius Junior, I think he's been fantastic this year. Absolutely. And Modric is rolling back the years constantly, isn't it? So that's the only thing. I think it's, can you stop Karim Benzema? What about you, Giri? If you had to pick a winner, Chelsea, Real Madrid.
I think it all depends whether by the time of the first leg, Chelsea have sorted out their ownership problems. If they haven't, okay, then I think Madrid will quite easily, because Madrid have got too much experience. Even if the game was close, they know how to manage it. They will pull out all their wonderful tricks, and Madrid have many of them. I mean, they're probably cultured in the way in which to win a European tie. And Madrid is one of those teams, I think, over the history of the Champions League, has never always relied on this away goal thing to help them. So now that the rule isn't there anymore, it flattens the whole playing surface. And I think Madrid just about have enough to get past Chelsea. But I could be wrong. It all depends on how Chelsea work out their ownership problems, because that's really beginning to affect their players. I mean, if you look at the last few games, I mean, Chelsea have just been nicking it by the odd goal. They haven't been as impressive as they were at the beginning of the season. And this Lukaku thing is still hanging there. You paid that amount of money to bring in somebody to play an FA Cup game and not start him, in a Champions League quarterfinal. It's going to cause a lot of ripples, especially when there are already other problems, in the background. I don't know. I'm not a Chelsea fan. But the way on just sheer experience, I think Madrid, have the advantage. And I predict Madrid to go through.
Fair enough. I'm going to
throw
something else in.
If I may just add one quick point here. So, as in, those are great points, Becky. The only thing is in a strange way, I feel that if the problems are not sorted, we will be probably better. And that is Chelsea DNA. That is what we have. Trust me, we actually go the extra mile. Tuchel will have the reins. The moment we have something good happening, what happens is they probably take it easy. That's how the players are the squad. And the Lukaku
just don't change your goalkeeper, in the event of a penalty shootout.
Again, I would like to counter that. I know, as in banter apart, perfectly fine. But I think, it's bad. My bad. It happened against Liverpool. But actually, Kepa has actually kept us in cup games this season. If you actually carefully watch what he's done every minute of what he's played, he actually won us the Super Cup. Without him, we wouldn't have done that. He actually got us this far in the FA Cup and in the Carabao Cup final. So yeah, I get what you mean, but yeah, we won't do that. Come on, Mendy has been the top goalkeeper in the world, simply put. I know Alisson is brilliant, David De Gea is brilliant, but I think it's got to be Mendy for me. But I think coming back to Lukaku, it's basically, I actually feel the same thing. What happened with Torres? At that point, 2012 Champions League final, Torres did not start. He was a super sub. He came in, he won the corner, from which we actually got that equalizer. Drogba got the goal, right? He actually won that corner. So there is a part of it. I think in modern day we kind of think too much. I know it's double the price right now, but if you take inflation into account, it's absolutely the same. That was 50 million, now it's 100 million, right? So for me, it's reading too much into it. Thomas Tuchel is managing really well. I know things aren't absolutely ideal. We spoke when Lukaku kind of burst out against Inter Milan. I remember that was the last time we met Hari and Ram. But for me, for sure, I'm thinking that that is not a huge problem because we have got a number 9 finally, which is Kai Havertz. It's superb. He literally had the Madrid defenders and midfielders in his pocket last year. If you actually watch that tie carefully, so again, I'm not going to go overboard saying that we're going to roll over them, but it's going to be really tough. But I believe if we are back against the wall, I still believe that we should get over it. But Man City, I don't know, man. Different.
I think the key is, like I said, stopping Karim Benzema and Vinicius Junior. I think both of them are outstanding form. So it's whether you can stop them, whether your defense can deal with them, and of course Modric in the middle of the park with some young legs as well. Camavinga has done well. Rodrigo has done well when he's come in for Madrid. Of course, Cruz is still there as well. Tony Cruz as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting, that tie. Ram, you want to give a quick prediction? Chelsea, Real Madrid.
Well, I've always loved English clubs, winning ties like this.
You're a Chelsea fan deep down. I know it. Come on.
No. No. But I can say that I would want Chelsea to win this game for sure, because I think it's going to be a good setup. If we can have those all English final once again. I always love that when it comes to Champions League football. So obviously, I think Chelsea can win. But I do agree with Giri and also with Keshav that it's going to be a tough game because Madrid are coming with all guns blazing. They do have Modric, which, like what Hari said, he's getting younger by the day. So it's going to be something to watch out for. But yeah, I'm rooting for Chelsea on this one.
Okay, brilliant. Let's skip through the next one. I'm going to cover the next one very quickly, guys. Just a very quick prediction because really there's no English interest in this one. Villarreal, Bayern Munich. We'll start with you again, Ankit.
Come on, this one, I know Villarreal have been great. They did very well against us in the Super Cup. I think Emery, I know that he was absolutely fantastic. He had many good evenings in the Europa League previously, and now finally in the Champions League in the quarterfinals. But I think it'll be a step too far. Bayern Munich on the day, along with Man City, on paper, are maybe the best team, along with Liverpool, you can argue, right? As in terms of the way they play football, they can, roll over teams. So I think Villarreal are there for the taking. As much as there are a lot of players. Danjuma is good, etc. But I don't see them scoring enough goals either. So I'm going Bayern Munich to easily beat them.
Yeah, I think so too. Keshav.
Bayern, I would say, but Villarreal may pull up something like how they always do. They got some good players, but I think Bayern are too strong with how the way they have like a high pressing line like how Liverpool do. So it's going to be a bit tough.
I mean, they absolutely smashed Salzburg, isn't it? Who are no mugs either. Good size.
Yeah.
Kiri, what about you? I think Bayern. Fair to say Bayern for you as well.
Won't be easy for Bayern. We're not talking about the same Bayern from about 2-3 years ago. Pretty aging squad as well. But I think they'll just have a bit too much for Villarreal. I mean, technically, it's a mismatch. You look at the way Villarreal play; they're a very direct team.
Yep.
They're going to be caught offside, 80% of the time. Once or twice, they might get past the back line of Bayern. If they get past Bayern's back line, then Bayern are too slow in recovery. That's going to be the only way they beat Bayern. They have to be able to beat that offside trap. Bayern has to keep playing higher because their back four is not as fast as what they used to be.
No,
But it's going to be interesting. I mean, Bayern don't have any competition in their league, so they can rest players in the week before and the week after. Villarreal, they just have to be bold and brave. But I think Bayern have just too much experience. They'll negotiate this.
Fair enough. What about you, Ram?
I'm going to be the dark horse over here. I'm going to say Villarreal.
Oh, you had to.
Yes. I'm going to be a dark horse.
You're a romantic, not you're romantic, isn't it? Hoping for Villarreal to progress. The next couple of games, guys. I'm going to start with Benfica Liverpool. Ankit. who progresses from this one. I mean, I'm going to have my say first. I know people say it's an easy draw. Benfica are not an easy side, but they're a good side. They've got Jan Vertonghen playing for them. Otamendi plays for them at the back as well. So they've got some known players playing for them as well. They've got David Nunes up top, who's the next big thing out of Uruguay. So I'm just managing that a little bit, Ankit, and handing it over to you. Who do you think is going to progress?
See, as in you already named Benfica players. I think obviously that backline, as much as it's aging, have a lot of as an experience in Benfica. But again, come on, if I'm going to say Benfica is going to win, Hari is like, okay, first of all you're late, then you're calling Benfica to kind of beat Liverpool. You're not coming again.
I think the key is what, like you talk about Jan Vertonghen, Otamendi. They're going to be playing against Luis Diaz, Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, and then doing okay. It's really tiring and suffering against them, but doing okay. And then 60th minute, they look at the touchline and they see Bobby Firmino and maybe Diogo Jota coming off the bench, and that's when they get ripped apart. So I think Liverpool's attack is what's going to do them, isn't it?
But see, that's what I said earlier, right? It's about basically the league, what's happening as well. I know it's April 5th, 6th will be fine, but the second leg is something crucial. I think the game which is sandwiched in between. But again, like I think the chat is saying as well, like, they can be basically professional. I don't see them beating Benfica as much as I said about Bayern beating Villarreal. And I know Villarreal beat Juventus as in handsomely. But despite that, I said that. But for Benfica, only reason is, maybe Liverpool, might have given that 100% the previous weekend. That is the only reason why they may have a sniff of a chance, but it's only a chance. I don't see them kind of, keeping that Liverpool forward line that you named, Hari, to at that bay. So I think Liverpool have got this in the bag for sure.
Oh, brilliant, good to hear. Keshav, what about you? Pick a winner.
Liverpool, obviously Liverpool.
Awesome.
Come on, Keshav. Don't be nice to her.
No. I like Keshav there. No explanations needed. Liverpool. What about you? What about you, Gary?
No explanations needed.
I think we'll go through 0-0 in the first leg, and then we'll go back to Anfield and get the job done. I don't think we'll be steamrolling them because we play City in between the two legs.
Yep.
So I think there will be a fairly subdued, what they call this, first leg, where we just manage the game. And then we will go into overdrive, okay, after we've played City, because it's too much riding on it. So I don't think this is like the game we played Bayern Munich sometime in the season that we won the Champions League. First leg at home, we just managed it, and then after that we decided we had to go for it. And even if this was just a one-off game between us and Benfica, I think we'll win it because Benfica is too direct and therefore they lose possession of the ball too much. I've been watching them, okay, I did some real takes the other day. And whilst they've got a wonderful centre forward, okay, I think he's going to be the next best thing. But they give away the ball too much. And they give away the ball too much in very central areas, which is what we like. We like picking up.
That's going to be.
We really don't need to try very hard. They'll probably just lose the ball in one particular part of the midfield, 1-2 passes, okay, and we are there. Only question is whether we want to play that high intensity game, okay, to force them into that. And I think that'll happen in the second leg. I don't think that we'll do that in the first leg. I could be wrong, but that's what I think will happen. We'll go through quite easily.
Fair enough, man. I think my opinion is I think we might steamroll them in the first leg. And then second leg it might be a coaster. Well, let's see. We'll know. What about you?
Do you want my?
Yes, I want a prediction from you. Come on, man. Benfica, are you going to be a romantic again?
Yes, I'm going to go for Benfica because in the Champions League, right, it's just different, man. Any team can actually win it. Can win any game. So in the Premier League, there's nothing much to argue. It's either Liverpool or Man City. But in the Champions League, anything is possible. So I think there's one reason why I chose Benfica because of this one player, Yarmolenko, from Ukraine, right? Oh man, I think it's going to be a good story here. We talked about how our friend Scott in for West Ham. What's his name again? Yarmolenko scored in West Ham. And now you have Yaremchuk. Both of them were very good for the Ukrainian side in the Euro. So I think it's going to be a fine story.
Real romantic.
Yeah, real romantic.
I think it's going to happen. Man. Let's see. It's going to be exciting.
Well. And then, guys, wrapping it up. Ram, I think that's just your United bias speaking anyway. But wrapping it up, guys. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, people say Chelsea, Real Madrid is the tie of the round. In my opinion, this is the tie of the round because of the contrasting styles. Simeone against Pep is like two different worlds, isn't it? It's like one is on the other side of the globe and the other guy is on the other side of the globe. For me, this is the most enticing tie of the round. And it's not Chelsea Real Madrid, because this one is just a contrast of two different characters, a contrast of two different styles, and the fact that I feel Atletico might just disrupt City and help us out a little bit as well. So I'm going to get some predictions. Quick one from you, Ankit.
Okay, so I think I already kind of gave it away about Man City, but I think you're right. As in, probably one team which Man City would like to have avoided, obviously apart from the big guns in maybe Bayern Munich especially. It was Atletico because the way they play. I think
dark arts, isn't it? The dark arts of
arts,
Atletico.
exactly. Because there's one way of beating City, and I know that they didn't play a defensive midfielder in the last final, and people kind of, a lot of neutrals that I spoke to, come down saying that, okay, it was because of that, but I know it was far more than that why we won. But I think that is the thing, when they have all flair players and then you can kind of, kick them about at least for a half, it is possible to get a better of them. And of course, if imagine a Kyle Walker gets a red card, which he's capable of as well. So there is a certain tactic to it. But again, if this was a one-off final, I could have still gone for it because of the fact that this is a two-legged quarterfinal. I believe City will have too much quality, and if you carefully look at Atletico, they haven't been the team that they were last year. Even the group stage, they just scraped through. I think they were in the same group as Liverpool, right? And pretty much sure that it was not as difficult as what Liverpool would have anticipated, right? We had felt the same last year when we played them, and I know I might kind of kind of offend Spanish La Liga fans here. I follow them as well, but they're nowhere there in terms of quality. I think that difference of quality shows. West Ham kind of beating Sevilla also is probably an example. So I have to go with the Man City. Man City, man, this year they have beaten us twice. They have beaten lots of teams. I know they've not been in the form that they were a few months ago, like most of the teams. But that is what Pep gives you, and I know that he's not done well in the Champions League with Man City. What the expectations were, but I think this time they are just that extra bit motivated. They will not lose it. It'll be Man City for sure.
Fair enough, Man City from you, Keshav. Who are you going with?
Atletico Madrid.
Oh, there you
go.
I'll say Atletico Madrid because I feel, to be honest, I look at Atletico Madrid and I think they are completely different from Man City. They are very defensive. They don't really attack so much. You'll get one chance and they'll score. But I do. This is going to be a test for Man City. Really, it's going to be a test because Man City love the beautiful football and the tiki taka. But this Atletico Madrid are not like that. They're very physical. They just get one chance.
Oh, they can park the bus if they want to.
Park the bus. 10 men at the back and have 9 men at the back and have one player up top. So they can defend like in a relegation battle. 9 players, and then you have one player up top, and then they fight for their lives to just get there. This can be like that. But I do think, even though Man City have got very good players, I do think Atletico have got the mindset to go out and play defensively solid, and I do hope. I think it's going to be a very good game, but I hope Atletico Madrid go through. And I do think it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I think maybe 2-1 Atletico for the two leagues.
Fantastic, man. We've got an Atletico and a Man City. What about you, Giri? Which side are you leaning on?
Well, if City want to win this leg, this tie, they have to get it done in the first leg, because they're going to come on the weekend and lose to us in the Premier League, and they'll be so deflated they won't be able to get a result in the second leg.
Yeah, Pep will overthink, isn't it? Pep will overthink things.
that was the point I was going to come to. I think Atletico will win this because, first of all, they got nothing to lose. And they will just do what they do best. And Pep will go back and he will reminisce over the days with Diego Simeone, both as a player and in the La Liga. And for some reason, I think this is a game where if you do not have an out-and-out centre forward, you're going to have trouble. And that's exactly what City don't have. So if they're going to get this done, since the first leg is at home, they will need a 2-goal advantage minimum to carry to the Wanda. If they don't have it, okay, they're going to be in serious trouble. And Pep has made this mistake before, and maybe that's one of the reasons why he's never won the Champions League with City. Even with all the best players, he's never been able to do it. Because when it matters most,
he never wanted the Bayern Munich.
He tends to play a game. I mean, if you remember a few years ago when they played Spurs, Suddenly they were too cautious until it was too late. I mean, the second leg, it became no caution at all. In the first 15 minutes, there were like 4 goals. And I don't know sometimes, okay, Pep gets the whole entire team balance, okay, quite wrong. Maybe this time by playing the same 11 every week, he'll be preparing for this. But Pep sometimes, I think, just doubts himself, especially when players start misfiring. And if City have all those chances like they had in the during the midweek against Crystal Palace in the first leg and didn't take it, I'm telling you, Simeone will be happy, because then he will start ribbing it in and really irritating, okay, City players. And City players can't handle that. I mean, Liverpool couldn't handle that 2 years ago.
Yep.
So expect that kind of attritional football from
Attritional is
Madrid.
the right word.
Okay? And if you think that tiki-taka is going to work, not against Atletico Madrid, because they are well suited for this kind of game. They've been drilled. They were made to become anti-Barcelona, anti-Real Madrid. So if you try to play that wonderful, beautiful football, okay, you won't have the time. And I think City will have enough chances in the first leg. But I think Madrid to go through won't be pretty. It'll be one of those ugly, ugly, ugly Champions League game. A lot of controversy. Expect that to be the case. I hope. It all depends on who the referee is.
Yep.
You get one of these wrong referees who's trigger happy and loves to blow, okay? You can easily see, okay, 5 to 10 yellow cards in the first leg itself.
Yeah.
Because that, but I think City to go, Madrid to go through with the odd goal.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. What about you, Ram?
Well, I'm leaning on Atletico Madrid as well. I mean, they've beaten one Manchester club. Go for the double. Make it happen.
Ram, the proper romantic today, Ram, the proper romantic today. But you know what? I'm gonna go with that. I'm sorry, Ankit, but I'm gonna go with the rest of the guys here as well. I think Atletico Madrid.
I never imagined this.
But wait,
no, I'll tell you why. I'll give you my reasons why. We played Atletico Madrid this year, but we did. I mean, and even then at Wanda Metropolitano was it was really tough game. They were outstanding. And then obviously at home, it was a piece of cake. But then we played them a couple of years ago and I hated them. I absolutely hate them. They defend deep. They play these dark arts. They dive. They stop the flow of the game. They do everything that a tiki-taka or Pep team will hate. And just like Giri said, I was going to bring the same point up. I think against a side like Atletico, you need to have a clinical finisher. Because if you don't take your chance, you won't get chances galore. Against a side that sits that deep. You don't take your chances, you're going to be made to pay. The other thing that I've got to say is up top on the break. They may not get that many breaks, but they don't really care. Up top on the break, they have got the flair. I think they've picked up a bit of form recently in La Liga as well. I think they've got 3 wins on the bounce in the league as well. I think they're undefeated in the last 4 or 5 games in the La Liga as well. So they picked up a bit of form. Griezmann up top and João Felix are 2 creative sparks up top. So I think they can do something on the break. And then obviously you've got Luis Suarez off the bench if need be as well. So I don't know, man. I've got a funny feeling that Atletico Madrid, I think we're missing about 5 or 6, maybe even 7 players going into the Man United game, the second leg. And they still won that 1-0 and came out of that. They just love playing.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. They're going to score the early goal. They are going to score the early goal. They're going to park the bus and they're going to frustrate Man City all the way throughout. That's why this will happen.
They just love the attritional game. They'll play, they'll just defend, they'll play you, they'll play the dark cards, and then and they like to play the underdog. They love the underdog tag. I don't think they like being favorites. Simeone doesn't like that. So I think that's the reason why I actually see a possible surprise in it. And I just think of Pep as a guy who just overthinks too much. He's going to overthink both the ties and the Liverpool game. All 3 games, I think he's just going to overthink. He's going to play a game in the middle of his head. He's going to try and rotate, etc. And I think it's going to cost him. Hopefully in all 3 games, but we'll wait and see. So anyway, guys, so that's a wrap for the Champions League. But interesting enough, so based on predictions, I mean, we could be looking at an Atletico Madrid-Chelsea game based on where we're going here. Or Atletico Madrid or Madrid derby maybe. And then, of course, it looks like it could potentially be Liverpool Bayern. I think the other side of the draw is quite easy. It could be Liverpool Bayern.
I'll just quickly add on here. What I feel will happen is like I'm looking at maybe a Man City Bayern, but what I want to happen eventually is like I think a Chelsea Liverpool. Like, come on, man! Like, we've got to get one over you guys finally in a final. It's been a long time. I want that. I want that to finally happen.
I don't want to play Chelsea anymore. I just fed up of playing them, so I don't want to play Chelsea anymore. But anyway, guys, it's been absolutely fantastic having all you guys in the show.
Absolutely.
I know we've kept all of you a bit longer, but it was an interesting show. It was a comeback show.
Comeback.
Thanks a lot, guys, for all the insights. Keshav, thanks a lot. I mean, all the
For
best
having
for West
me.
Ham. And
Thanks for
all the
joining
best
us.
for West Ham in the Europa League. Giri, thanks a ton, man, for all your insights on Liverpool and on the football spectrum in general. And obviously, good luck for tonight. We've got a tough FA Cup tie away at Forest. It's European royalty against each other.
Ankit, of course, good seeing you again after so long.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I know. Again, I apologize for being late, but fantastic chatting
No
with you
worries.
always.
No
Hoping for
worries.
the best
All
for
been good.
Chelsea.
No, thanks. And it really, like I said, great insights, man. We wanted to get those insights of what's happening at Chelsea. So it was really good to get that from you.
And of course, great to meet, as in the panel, as in fantastic. Probably we should do this together. Hopefully, when we get through our respective ties. Sorry, Ram, I didn't mean that to bring in a pun in terms of Champions League. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. I totally understand. But awesome once again having all three of you. You guys rock. Definitely have you again on the show in the near future.
We didn't get a chance to dig at United today, but we will in the next few days when we talk about the top 4 battle, Ram. So stay tuned.
Every
if you guys
episode
want to watch,
if you want to watch every episode, so it's normal. It's fine.
If you want to watch Ram ranting, please join us in a few days' time as we talk about the top 4 battle. But anyway, again, thanks a lot, guys. Ram, over to you to wrap up the show, man.
Well, thank you once again, everyone joining us. Just a quick update before we go. Leicester City just scored the first goal against Brentford. So Leicester leading 1-0. Yeah,
I thought they just scored the second goal. They just scored the second goal.
Just scored a second goal. There you go.
Yeah.
Live updates on our Welcome Back show.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think it's going to VAR though. It's going to VAR.
So let's see. So once again, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. This signing off.
Thanks for having us. You guys take care. See you all again.
Take care. Stay safe, guys.
Signing off from the plot Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
Bye, the fans. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Take care.